Hi guys, we're back in session. Today we're going to be talking about body image and all things related to that. So Ange, why don't you get us started with our first topic?
Okay, well, welcome back to the podcast, guys. It's been a while. Life has been chaotic and crazy and hectic, but I'm so happy to be back and that we're like back in these chairs doing this. Yes, as Nat said, we are going to be talking about all things related to body image. So, like body image concerns, as men and women, we all go through them, we all experience them. I've definitely experienced my own, like, personal relationship with, like, body image. And, growing up, I think there was, we have always had this idea of, like, unfortunately, like, thinness equals beauty, and like the more thin you are, the more attractive you are. And we just like had this from all places, like from social media, from family, from friends, from like you hear it everywhere, right? And so yeah, I think like for me personally, growing up, I was always like a very skinny kid, honestly, and like that was just like me. That's just how I was. And then got to one point in my life where I started gaining weight. Okay, like natural, our bodies change, they go through things, right? And there was nothing wrong with it, and I was fine with it. And then I got to the point where it was just like, no, I felt like I was gaining a lot of weight, and I didn't like understand why, but it made me feel so self-conscious. I'm like, this is like not okay. And I had the idea in my head, the like messed up idea that like, no, this is not okay. Like this is like I look like ugly, like I don't like the way, I'm dressed, like I'm wearing these clothes that I used to be fine with. Like it just like it got, it eventually gets to you. And then especially when you start hearing it from other people, like not in a you look like this or like you, but it's just like, oh, like what's going on? Like you've gained so much weight.
I'm sure all the
It's just like,
adults
yes,
come for
dude, they're
us when
brutal.
they see the little bit of gain weight.
They're brutal.
Weight
They
gain.
see it, weight gain. They see it before we see it sometimes, I swear. Like sometimes I'm just like, oh, like I'm fine. Like I it doesn't even cross my mind. And
It's
then
like, are you
they're like,
studying me?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. It's like, okay. But yeah, so what's your relationship with like body image and like concerns, and
um,
how was that for you
I
growing
feel
up?
like I'm kind of similar to you, where I grew up very thin, but not very thin. Actually, I grew up with all of our friends being super thin,
Mm.
and then I felt always like I was the giant because I was so tall.
Mm.
And like that's another part of body image too. Like I just
Totally.
always felt like I was the biggest one in the room, even though I knew I wasn't fat. I just was thicker boned.
Mm-hmm.
But like it just always felt like whenever we take a photo, photos ruin my life. Whenever we take a photo, I was always like just prominently there where everyone else is kind of like petite and little, and like it just always made me feel like a giant. But I don't know, I never like really like cared as much cuz I used to like be in sports growing up, so like I just always knew I was taking care of myself, and like I'd never like had a bad relationship with food in a sense. But I feel like when I grew up, then I started to gain more weight and more weight, and then you get in a relationship and you lose it.
Do you? Is that what happened?
Yes. Because then
Okay.
you're going out to restaurants and on dates, and like you're just always eating. So I'm just like, ugh, like I've really gained a lot of weight. So now I'm trying in this phase of my life, I'm trying to like reprocess of like it's okay to gain weight. It's fine. And I'm not active anymore. So I'm not like out here doing this and doing that. I'm just kind of just trying to learn that it's okay that you've gained weight, but you need to learn how to like manage it. And I still have that in my head. Like it's not like, okay, I accept this. I'm very much so like, no, I can't accept this. Like but it feels like I can't do anything about it. Like I'm still eating the junk food. How I don't know how that works, but like I know I want to take care of myself, but I just can't.
You can't, or you're not like giving yourself the opportunity to.
What do you mean?
Like it's one thing to like, not be able to, for sure. Like, okay, like I've tried and I'm like working on it and I know I want it, and it's just like, it's like maad ide, like I can't do much about it. Like I can't. And then, or is it like, no, but I know I want to, it's just something in me is like, I'm not like motivated enough maybe, or I'm not like
that.
trying, or it's more that.
It's literally that.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people have that, where it's just like, I'm not motivated enough, because I think it's easier to just go with life being how I am rather than trying.
You're
and
beautiful
maybe
how you
succeeding.
are.
Well,
What do you mean
yeah.
how I am? Look at you.
Well, thank you. But no, it's not even that. It's more so like, I'm a big believer of growth.
Yeah.
And like pushing yourself to be better. Like
Yeah.
that's my belief.
Yeah.
So when I don't act in that, it feels like I'm failing. And that like, and then it's just like time and time again when I keep failing, or like keep like telling myself I need to do this, but then that sweet like haunts me, and like I go for it, it just motivates me less.
I hear you.
You get what
I
I'm
hear
saying?
You. No, I totally hear you.
Yeah.
I get that. You know what I think? I think we kind of can all relate to that point of like, it starts becoming like we really have to reframe the way we're thinking about it, right?
Yeah.
And also like, this is where I think certain habits can become, I'm not saying you, I'm saying in general, certain habits can become dangerous when it comes to like weight loss and like trying to maintain that image and that expectation, is because you have this, you know, idea, not you again, just like general understanding.
I know.
That, you know, the less I eat, the more weight I lose, and that, you know, better I'll look, and that can become a really dangerous game, because then you're not giving yourself grace, right? You're like, okay, I'm just going to eat less and it's going to work. And then if I like take this one step back, okay, then whatever, might as well not try anymore, which is like, you also have to be patient and graceful with yourself and your body, you know, because it's not like, what progress is linear? Like, when has it ever been like, yeah, we start, you know, working towards something and we're just like going up from there? That's just not how growth works. Like, we go through these ups and downs, and it's just like, it's so important to remind ourselves to give ourselves the patience. And I know we don't do it. It's like easier said than done. But yeah, like that brought me to my point of like, you know, healthy eating versus like unhealthy eating, and like habits like that.
For sure.
Because it scares me how easily you can get to that point where food and your relationship with food can become unhealthy. And it starts to become dangerous for a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think we see that with like in two different ways. Like there's some people that use food as a coping mechanism where they're stressed. All right, I'm going to eat everything in front of me right now. And then there's the other type of people where they don't want to eat. They restrict themselves from eating because that insecurity, like they want to fill that void for that insecurity so bad. And I think it's in both ways. I think it's both an insecurity, but it's like you said, it's about like reframing the way we kind of talk to ourselves and going to that. But yeah, but I want to like talk about both things. Like, have you ever had experiences in your practice with eating disorders or anything like that?
Only a couple cases, but nothing too like severe or super like life-threatening or dangerous. And we didn't really, it wasn't like any kind of intense treatment. I'm not that familiar or that like what's the word? Brain work words. Where are you? What's the word? Experience. I'm looking for like one specific word, and I can't. It starts with a C. No, it starts with a C. Whatever. It'll come to me one day. Sure. Experience with eating disorders. I don't want to waste the time. I'm gonna spend the rest of the podcast just thinking about this word. Yeah, like that experience when it comes to eating disorders. You know, from what I understand, obviously, like, it's a mental illness, like all other mental illnesses, and it needs attention and care and love, and it can become dangerous very quick on both ends of things. So like you have your like, you know, binge eating, you have your anorexia, you have your so many different parts of like eating disorders, and they're hard sometimes to recognize and diagnose, you know. I think especially in like the culture we're living in now, like unfortunately everyone wants to be thin, everyone wants to be skinny, everyone wants to, like, that is the goal. It's no longer health, it's no longer I want to be healthy, it's I want to be skinny. And so then when, like, you know, people come to your practice and like they're having issues with their body and their body image and they're telling you like these behaviors, you don't, it's a really fine line between, okay, this is an eating disorder versus this is like, you know, self-esteem issues, maybe like self-love issues that we need to work on, and like reinventing the idea of like health and like, you know, beauty standards, I guess. So yeah, that's like, I don't know. I haven't like worked with many clients that, you know, suffered from an eating disorder.
Yeah. Same here. Obviously I work with kids, like it's early in the game for kids to be developing eating disorders. But I will say it's actually kind of crazy how much, like, there are some parents who like have come and discussed that, like, hey, my kid's relationship with food is getting to this point. Now obviously it's not an eating disorder, but like it's like kids are starting to have this, and it makes me wonder, it just makes me ask questions of like why do we develop a certain way of coping? Like, why is it that way? I don't know, but I do see like a lot of people who have these relationships with food, it always stems from insecurity, from people bullying them, from, I don't know, just many different things that can really like diminish their personality or their character, and just like they're fed a lot of negative words.
Yes, 100%.
And I see that.
100%.
And yeah, and I think maybe everyone just has a different way to cope, but like some kids do run to that.
Totally. Yeah. And it's also like, again, everything like in my opinion, it starts and ends with childhood. You also have to think of like, how did this child grow up and what was their family's relationship with food, right? You know, what was modeled in the home, what was brought into the home, what was said to the kids. Like, for one, okay, being Arab in our culture, I'm sure you can relate, but it's like, okay, like, sabbait my plate of food. No, but you must finish it because it's like so haram to throw away food. So now when I'm at this big age that I'm at, when I'm like eating my food and I don't finish my food, I feel like I have to force myself to finish my food because I'm just like, no, but haram. So it's just like, even if I don't want to eat anymore, you know, that's like the idea that like stuck with me from when I was a child to now, is like, I have to finish my food.
Yeah.
I have to, like, you know. And again, it's not like my parents' fault. Like, they also say that because that's how they grew up. And like at the time that they were growing up, unfortunately they weren't as fortunate as we are now, right? So it's like, you know, if maybe you don't finish your food right now, like, we see these people around us that are starving, we see these people, and like, maybe we can't not eat, but next time, but you know what I mean? It's like, there's a lot of value connected to food. And so again, it's just like this pattern that you grow up with. That's just one example. But then like a kid could be growing up in a household where maybe they're seeing their mom is not like eating as much as like she should be, you know, because she's always saying out loud, not even to them, but just like, oh my gosh, like, I look so like big today, like my stomach, my thighs, my arms, like, I'm just not gonna eat. I'm gonna eat like an egg. Well, you're modeling then to your kids that like, okay, your body and the way you look comes before your health, and that is being put first. And so when you see these kids that maybe are starting to have a little bit of a relationship issue with food, it's I always, you know, wonder what's going on in the house, and like, you know, what's going on with the parents and their own relationships with their bodies, and like, what are they, like, you know, saying in the house, you know, what's the language they're using, what are the words they're using. So yeah, like, that's my understanding of it. But then there are also kids who like just truly have an issue with food because of like texture, or because of like
sensory and
sensory
like all
issues.
that stuff.
Yeah, so there's also that too.
Yeah, there's so many fields and so many things. And I also I want to hear like how you grew up as well with like access to food, because, and I say access to food, obviously like we are not, we're given food.
They were holding back food from
no
us,
one's
guys.
holding back food. I'm saying access to
Abuse.
food as like the way I grew up was, it was like a free for all. If we're at the grocery store and we want the cosmic brownies, we're gonna get the cosmic brownies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, but I don't know how much that like hurt or helped in a sense, because there's some parents where it's very restrictive. It's very like, you can't have sweets, like you get one sweet a day, or like you get this or you get that. But like ours was just like, it's there, if I want it, I have it. And like I'm sure like my parents will say like, no, that's too much, but it's never like you can't have this. I am still trying to figure out if that was good or bad.
I think you won't know though, because that can go two ways, right?
Yeah.
I think that can go in
go
a
two
way of
ways.
like, okay, because I always had access to it, like I don't really care for it because it was always there. Or it could be like, because I always had access to it and I wasn't restricted, I was just like overeating. I was over like, okay, like not really paying attention to like what it is that I'm putting in my body. So like I'm eating all these random things and like I got used to it. So it could go either way, That's
what I think. I think it could go either way. Like I think some kids like who have too much restriction, they're gonna sneak it. And that's not going to be a good thing. That's going to cause like secrecy. And I think like a lot of it is also like the binge eating and like this and that. Like there could be things that happen, or just like rebellion, like there's that way. But then the other way is I think you can have so much access that like you just constantly go for it. But I think it depends on your life and you as a person at the same time. Like for example, like let's just say me and my brothers all had free access to everything, but they were at school experiencing something and I was at school experiencing something. So then when I come home, I have the free access. I don't really care for it because it's just like I already have it. But then it's just like, let's say my brother is like, okay, well I have the free access for it too, but I had a really rough day at school with the kids. And now I'm going to abuse this thing because I need to cope or I need to do it. So it's just like, I do think it all stems from the negative things people are putting on you.
I think that's something we really need to talk about, that the negative things that people are putting onto you, and we have to, like, we can't not talk about the culture that we grew up in, and like,
where does the
talk
negative
about
come from?
negative things? Talk about negative comments. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The culture plays a big role in a lot of this.
Yes.
And it's like, dude, I'll never forget. First time I went to Surya back in like 2018, I was like pretty skinny. Like, I don't know. Like I was like normal body, yani, whatever. And then a year later I went back and I had gained a little bit of weight in between that year. Nothing too crazy, but I gained weight. And I'll never forget, like, these random khaltos that just come up to you and they say it so backhanded. It's like, yeah, Angie, wallah nasahani. And then they're like, yeah. No. And they're like, لا بس حلو عليك حلو إنه حلياني.
Oh, trauma, you're bringing up trauma.
I'm sorry I triggered something, but that's just literally how it is. And it's just like, well, thanks. Like, I didn't notice I was gaining. Like, thank you for pointing out,
بس حلو عليك.
بس لا حلياني. حلو على وجهك.
Like, what are you? So you're calling me ugly when I was skinnier, but you're also calling me fat. Like, what do you?
What do you mean? Like, don't say anything at all. Like, has your mom never taught you that? Like, if you don't,
where are your manners?
And that's the thing. I don't think they realize, like, here it's like it can be a sensitive topic, especially for like us growing up here in the US. I feel like it's more normalized for some reason in Syria to like bring up weight and like talk about like,
Yeah.
you know, it's very like عادي, but for us here, it's a little bit more of a touchy subject.
Why do we think that is though? Like, is it just like that's just how they are? They're just harsh people.
Well, I think it's not that they're harsh people. I think it's like, yes, they can be. I'm seeing Nat like in the corner of my eye, like side eyeing me. It's okay. What I think it is it's the environment. Like we grew up in a country that, you know, really values mental health and talks about mental health and normalizes it, right? And we grow up with more of a acceptance into, you know, there are different kinds of beauties. Like we are a melting pot of people, of races, of cultures, of body types, of, you know, so there's a little bit more praise for that here than you would find in Syria.
Mm-hmm.
In Syria, you have these beauty standards, and if you don't meet them, then you're ugly. If you're not white, if you're not blonde, if you're not skinny,
blue-eyed,
like if you don't meet
then
these
you're
requirements,
basically ugly.
Basically, no, but it's not that. It's not to that extreme.
Yeah,
but like,
it's not that, guys.
You know what I mean? Like it's very like more like this is what we consider beauty, you know? And so everyone knows it there, and it's like I don't know, there's not as much sensitivity I think to the topic when it's brought up to a young girl or a young guy over there. But it's so interesting because now I'm wondering like, well, I wonder how they really feel. Like I've never talked to someone like growing up there like you know, about this topic. Like I wonder if like maybe there was some sensitivity, but like no one ever talks about the sensitivity of it, you know? Or maybe they truly just weren't like sensitive to it.
I always wonder that. I'm like, nobody's feelings get hurt.
Yeah. One thing about Syrians is that they're very resilient in every way,
That's
shape,
true.
or form.
So do you think?
And
it's
I think
good
they
that
probably had
talk to us like this?
bigger problems going on than what someone said about their body.
Dude, one thing I will say, being in school and like having a kid tease you never fazed me because I'm just like, bro, I hear this all the time.
You're not saying be more creative.
Be more creative. Like
Come
this
up with
isn't-
something new.
Yeah, like okay.
Tell me something I don't know.
Yeah, tell me something I don't know. But I lost my train of thought.
The culture,
The culture.
Syria. We were talking about resiliency. We were talking about like body image. We should restart the episode.
I was going to say something along the lines of culture, resilience, and all of that.
But you don't know what it was. Yeah.
Anyways.
Okay. Anyways.
I'm having a brain fart.
I know, it's okay. Me too, guys. It's like, if I yawn, by the way, ask Nat. I tried to get all my yawns out before the episode started. So if I, like, yawn a couple times, just ignore me. I promise I'm not bored. I'm just tired. Huh?
I had a story to tell.
There you go. Okay.
Of how much Arabs can be so mean. When I was a little girl, right? You know how my brothers are blonde, blue-eyed, pale skin, the standard of beauty in Syria. So there was a lady who came over and she saw my brothers and then she saw me and then she and she was like, oh my gosh, ما أحلاهن هالولاد الصغار بس like ليش هاي طلعت هيك؟
That's so mean.
I know.
I mean, you're beautiful.
Thank you.
Why would she say that? Like, I understand the
you. It
beauty
means a lot.
okay, beauty standards, but like, oh, nah, how old were you?
My mom wanted to smack her.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah.
Oh, habibi.
But you know what? I don't take offense. Obviously, I was a kid. It doesn't matter. But like, I just know like some people just grew up with a certain way of seeing people and like, and that's just how they think. But like, I want everyone to know that like beauty is subjective. Yes. It is. Beauty is subjective, and the it's constantly changing of like what is considered beautiful in the terms of like social media.
Yes.
So like you remember like when we were, I don't know if it was like high school or just like in college, it was never about being skinny. It was about
The thick
who had the
thighs,
thick thighs, the
yeah.
big booty,
Mhm.
and like just curves.
Mhm.
Like curves was the thing.
Mhm.
And then I felt like if you were skinny,
Mhm.
you were considered very like unattractive,
Mhm.
or not unattractive, but
Just
very
like not like
yeah,
eye catching. What here?
eye
Just like face,
catching,
like
or like
yeah.
I think there was like a sexual revolution thing to it, like maybe unsexualized, like, and that's not a nice thing to like even discuss or say, but like that was, I think
It's
they were
true.
pushing sex, and I think that was considered what was sexy.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's very true. That's a really good point. And before we got to that era, we had the like 2000s skinny. We had the like, you know,
Yeah,
the
like,
low-rise jeans and your tummy's out and
such
you
a
have
cool
to be
era.
so it's such a cool era. But we had like the supermodel era, and like supermodels were a huge thing. Like, you know, and everyone would wanted to be them and like act like them and look like them. And so it is always changing. Like beauty standards are changing all the time. And the biggest and most important thing you said was that beauty's subjective. And it really is in the eye of the beholder. Everyone has a different idea of what beauty is to them. And you're not going to fit everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. And again, it's so like cringy, like when we say it, and I know like we hear all the time, but like as long as like you love yourself and your body, like nothing else matters. Like truly, like that is where, you know, your idea of like how beautiful you are should come from is from yourself. You know, it's easy to get wrapped up in like validation too and praise. So like when you lose weight, you hear it more. You hear like, oh my gosh, like, you know, you got so skinny, like, wow, hi, especially like, let's say like you were a naturally bigger person, okay, growing up, and then you started losing weight. And then all of a sudden, now I'm getting compliments. Now I'm getting like praised. Now I'm getting, you know, attention that I didn't get before. And that could go either one of two ways. It's like, okay, like I can like, you know, be grateful for it, whatever, and, you know, not let it take over, or it can become like that drive and that motivation to like unhealthily, like, you know, like make
keep
sure I
going.
keep going, you know, and like hurt myself to please somebody else.
Because you're almost learning, like with the praise of like losing so much weight and like doing all this and doing all that, and like, oh, now you're pretty. Their mind is going to process that beauty is what gets approval. So, okay, I lost the weight, check. What's next? Now they're going to be like, oh, there's something wrong with my nose. Let me go get a nose job. Oh, there's something wrong with the way my chin looks. Let me go get a facelift. Like, and then it never stops because you're constantly living for the approval of others, and you're learning that beauty's everyone else's. Like, it's not just something I feel within or something that I can get to within myself. And that's so dangerous.
It's so dangerous, especially when like, you know, there are other also like things that we have to touch on of like, it's also just not that simple for everyone, you know? And I hate this idea of like, I'm all for like, yes, if you want something and you truly say you want it, of course you have to put in the work for it. You know, of course you should take better care of yourself because health is important. Like, you know, health is everything. But there's also, I hate when I hear like people making people feel bad over like things like this when it's like, it's really not that simple for them. You know, there are things that play a role here, like, you know, your hormones, like what's going on with your hormones, what's happening in your body. Is there something, you know, like is something else going on that maybe because someone sees it on the outside, they think they know, like, oh, this person's just eating a lot or this person's just not eating enough, but you truly don't know what's going on in someone's life. So it just like that like breaks my heart because like, you know, it's different for everybody, is so different. And like you can't compare like, oh, like this person like laugh so you can too. Well, it's just, it doesn't work like that, you know? And everyone's built differently. I love that you said like growing up, like I don't love that you felt that way, obviously, but that like you recognize now that like your body's so like it's different because you were bigger boned, you know, and that is your body. Like, you know, that is like your body, and it's beautiful and it's stunning. And like I can relate to it to a certain extent of like being like taller, and like I did have these moments of where I was like, you know, bigger. And so I can also relate to that, like you said, all our friends are so thin, and so like, you know, but then it got to the point where it's like, well, this is literally my body. Like I can't change my bones. Like
I can't change
me.
my bones. I can't,
you know,
crack it
and
open.
it's
Just be like,
beautiful.
let's put something new in.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's beautiful. You know, it just sucks because I don't think, especially like young Arab girls, hear it enough.
Oh yeah.
Because if you're not skinny, like, then you're not beautiful. Is the concept that they have
It's
in
the
their
concept.
they
Yeah.
make us feel like we have.
Yeah,
You know.
for sure. And you know, like how I came to a conclusion of like, it's fine that I'm bigger boned.
How?
It's because I started to realize like what that meant for me. For example, like I know I can knock somebody out.
I love that. She said, "I can fight."
I can fight.
Mhm.
I can. Try to fight me.
Not
I will fight you
Is
back.
freakishly strong, freakishly, and I thought I could compete against her, and I did. I was more of a challenge than you thought I was gonna
Okay,
be.
it was just the position of
It
where
wasn't-
we were.
It wasn't the position. We
It was-
arm wrestled. Okay, it was a position. We arm wrestled, and then neither one of us were like winning. It was just like we
Yeah.
couldn't. And then we changed the position, and she won. But also because it was at that point, it was like my third try, so my arm got tired.
Okay, we'll do it after and we'll see again.
Okay, fine. We will, and we'll let you guys know next episode who wins.
But
anyway, sorry,
anyways, back to
continue.
the point. The point is I found things that made how do I word this? That made me love my body, of like, wait, there's a strength in this. You see? Like not just me being strong, but it's just like I can run really fast because I have really long legs. I can probably like grab the thing off the shelf and be helpful for someone.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
You know, like there's things that
There's
I can
strengths to
do
it.
that other people can't do, which they can probably do other things a lot better than me. But it's just like I found the things that like my body can do like great. And I made it a thing of like, wow, I have that for me, and that's something special about me. So I reframed.
I love that. I love that so much. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. Like you found the beauty, you found the strengths, you found the like you reframed, your
Yeah, I
perspective
reframed.
on how you felt about your body.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
also like I'm the type of person where it's just like if I am going to go somewhere and maybe I feel like I'm not like the standard or something, I try to make myself feel better by like what I wear.
Mhm.
Like I try to find the clothes that fit my body perfectly to make me feel beautiful for the day. But you know, sometimes I feel like when I was younger, I'd feel like, oh, I'd put on the outfit, I'd do this, and then I'd go and I feel like, oh, everyone looks so much better. And I feel like that's a lot of thing other girls have.
Yo.
Like, oh, we'll go to the event and it's just like, man, like I don't like my outfit anymore. Even though literally 5 seconds ago you were like, yes,
You loved it.
I'm killing it today.
Yeah. And then you get there and you start comparing yourself.
Yeah. How would you say, like, what would you say to that girl?
It's really hard because like I get it. Like I'm that girl too, you know? Like I so get it. We do have those moments of like, again, I have to go back to culture. Like we were just so like pitted against each other.
Yeah.
And like it was so like competition everywhere. So like you grow up with that. So I could have been feeling great and then I get there and I'm not feeling good anymore. I would say focus on the feeling that you had before. Focus on the positive feeling. Remember all the reasons that you were excited to come to this event. Remember, you know, how much fun you said you were going to have. Remember how the dress did make you feel, and that tell yourself, no, like I do look good in it. And that, you know, everything else is outside of my control right now. Like I'm not going to go home and change now. So I can either A, let this ruin the rest of my night, or B, forget about it. focus on how beautiful I did feel and have the best time I can possibly have, because I can't change anything about it right now, you know?
Yeah.
So it's just like all about like those like gentle reminders to remind yourself, I think, especially in those moments.
For sure.
For me, and I don't know if anyone else can relate, but when I realize that something is no longer within my control, so in a situation like that, then it really, really, really helps me, because I literally can't do anything else about this situation right now, you know? So why am I stressing over it? Like, I'll stress about it later, but tonight I'm not going to stress about it. At this event, I'm not going to stress about it because I can't do anything.
Stress about it later is such a good line.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've been using that too. I'll stress about it later.
Yeah.
Like, and it works.
Yeah.
Because, like, yes, my thoughts are important, even though they're not. But my thoughts are important, and I'll give you time at some other time. Like, you're going to get thought about, but just not today.
Not right now.
Today, I'm, like, focused on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then also, like, something I would add is that I like, go by this quote in my head of, like, confidence is far more prettier than insecurity. Like, if you show up and walk into a room and you've done all that work you just said of, like, let me reframe all of this and tell myself, like, you know, I'll stress about it later, I'm going to enjoy my night, or, like, you know, focus on the feeling that you had before you came here.
Yeah.
And I just keep telling myself, like, you are beautiful, and I work on that within myself. You show up to a room, I can confidently tell you more people will be attracted to that energy.
Totally.
More so than you stressing about how little you feel in this moment, or you comparing yourself to other people, because it shows.
It does. That is such a good point.
It shows.
Yep.
So get to that place and do that self-work each and every day.
Right.
Because when you walk in with that confidence, you walk in with that light. And that light is what projects your beauty within.
Really good. That was really good. It's so true. It's so true. You really can see it on someone when they walk in, and it shows, like, everything you feel about yourself. So confidence, and in general, confidence is just, like, the key to everything. Like,
I figured it out.
what?
Why the Arabs are so harsh.
Why?
Because they have unresolved
Insecurities. Yeah. Yeah.
Because I was thinking, I was like,
totally.
oh my gosh, the insecure people, how can you tell?
What makes you say that, though?
I just thought of a moment where, like, you know,
like
people would
something.
project
Yeah.
their insecurities. Like, I can see you're insecure right now, and you're just projecting and being rude
Onto me.
Right. And I was like, oh, why are you doing that? Or, like, they'll just say a comment about, like, something to ruin my day. And then I was like, oh, wait, what if that's, like, all the Arab people that grew up, they just have that those unresolved insecurities, and now they're just projecting it on us.
Yeah. It very much can be the case. Yeah, 100%. That is so true. Like, when you think of bullying, you know, especially when it comes to this stuff, it's kind of bullying. No, but when it comes to bullying, like, when you think of, like, bullies and, like, why they're so mean and, like, why they're so harsh, you know, 9 times out of 10, we say that it's because they're projecting onto you, you know. Really, at the end of the day, has nothing to do with you and more to do with them. They're coming from a place of hurt and insecurity that, like, they never healed. So, yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Oh,
go Nat.
Look at that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take a shot every time we snap this episode.
Okay. Another point I think we should touch on is social media. I think it's so dangerous. If you are feeling you're in a state of insecurity, or you feel like, you know, you're having a little bit of a bad relationship with food, just stay off social media. That is so, like, it's hard to say, because it's like, obviously, like, I don't want you to, like, stop your life and, like, from doing all this and that, but it's just like, if you really want to do your self-work, just stay off of it for a good while. You can come back to it.
Yeah.
But, like, just take some time for you, because that's the things they feed you is so bad.
So bad.
What do you have to say about that?
No, I agree. It's so bad. You see it all the time, right? Online. And I think it's different when you're, like, 27 now. So I feel like I've gotten better at the, like, I don't really look at social media like that. Like when I see influencers or I see like models or whatever, it's never to a point where I'm just like, oh man, like I wish that was my body. Like, and like I'm really like dwelling over it. Like, of course I can like notice it and like praise it, you know, but it doesn't really like affect me. But when you're a teenager and when you're going through like so many different like things in life, and one of them being like you're working on figuring out who you are and like on building your confidence, and then you see it so much on social media, these people that you look up to, whether they're influencers or models or whatever, and it really can get to you to like, oh my gosh, like this is what I need to look like, this is what beauty is. And then especially when it's everyone. And this is the thing I think that we're all going through right now is you open up social media and everyone is paper thin. Like every single person. Like I'm not seeing like different bodies anymore. I'm seeing the same body.
Yeah.
You know? And so when you're seeing that all the time, then I think it really can get like, oh, like everyone looks like this. Like what is going on? Like I need to too, you know? So
I think it's like the new agenda they're pushing.
Yeah.
Like, I think of the Kardashians. Like, they are the ones who, like, I love them.
Me too.
But I think they start so many trends. And it's like, if you noticed back when the curvy body type was in, it's because they were curvy. But now they're all, like,
very skinny.
Going the complete opposite. Like, skinny, very thin. And now everyone is doing the same thing.
And a lot of them got their, like, BBLs, like, removed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like it's like a spectrum, and they're just like pushing us through. Yes. Like pushing us. I say that very specifically because I think we're all moving together, and I don't think we should all just be doing what we need to do for ourselves and not worried about like what the crowd is doing. And something for us as people, like psychologically, we want to fit in with the crowd. Yeah. Like remember that study that, you know, they had a bunch of people come in and then they would ask them questions and everybody would answer the wrong question, but there's that one person and they wanted to see like, is he going to say the same thing as everyone else or is he going to say the thing he knows? And, you know, what was it, like 9 times out of 10? The person, they would follow the crowd.
They would conform to the society,
They would conform to the society. Psychologically, that's just how humans work. So that's why
it's
I
like,
say stay off.
I must be wrong. I must be crazy. If you guys are all, like, seeing this and I'm, like, I must be insane.
I must be insane.
They did the same. This is funny. They did the same, like, little social experiment once with a guy on an elevator. And you know when you go into an elevator, what usually happens, like, you know, you're standing facing the door, obviously, like the elevator door. And, like, typically, like, you know, you're on your phone checking a message or whatever. So this guy was like, I'm going to go into an elevator and I'm going to, like, test if people will conform to something really random because, like, me and a couple other people are going to do it. So it was him and a couple other people in on the experiment. And so they'd walk into an elevator and they'd wait for random people to come on, right? And when the elevator doors closed, they would face the wall instead of the door. Okay? And it's like, realistically, if I was in that elevator, I know the door's right there. Like, yeah, but then if I'm seeing, like, 3 other people facing the wall.
Yeah, I don't want you to, like...
Yeah, I'm going to think, like, oh, maybe there's another door. Maybe there are 2 doors. I don't know. So, like, I'm going to do what they're doing.
Follow the crowd.
I'm going to follow the crowd. And that's what happened, like, most of the time is that people, like, would look around. They'd be a little confused, and they would turn around, like, to face the wall.
That is so funny.
So, yeah, it just goes to show, like, we really do. Even if we know what's best and we know the truth and what we need to do, if other people are doing it, we're just like, we're gonna follow, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I thought that was a little funny. But yeah, I know. It's been insane with social media for sure.
Yeah.
What would you say to people that may or don't know if they're currently experiencing like body dysmorphia? Like, am I going through some body dysmorphia right now, or am I like just trying to take care of myself? Like, where's the line?
That's really hard.
Yeah.
I want to preface, I don't
I don't
know
think there's a right
anything
answer.
about body dysmorphia. Like, I'm not that like experienced with that type of thing.
Me either.
But body dysmorphia. This is a hard question, Ange.
Okay, so yeah, I think I'm sorry. It's not like I don't think there's a right answer. What I would say about that is, okay, well, first of all, body dysmorphia is, you know, the idea of, you know, you're seeing your body as something else. Like, realistically, like, this is how you look, but your brain is tricking you and telling you, like, hey, actually, like, no, like, this is how you're gonna view yourself, you know? And typically, most of the time, I feel like body dysmorphia happens. I don't know if this is like valid. I'm just spitting from my brain here, so please don't quote me and please like fact check me on this. But I think most of the time when body dysmorphia happens, it happens when, you know, people think that they're more overweight than they actually are.
Yeah.
So when I asked that, I think it was like I'm like just curious, and I was thinking out loud, like, what would that look like? Am I really going through body dysmorphia, or am I like, no, like I actually maybe am like kind of overweight and I want to take care of myself. Like, I guess like where's the line with that?
Mhm.
I think that if you do feel like you are going through any sort of body dysmorphia, you might know in a way, because
Oh, yeah.
I think first of all, family and friends would like point it out to you, because you're going to be saying things out loud. They'll point it out to you like, hey, like, no, like you're not like what you're seeing, you know? And two, I think you'll start to recognize it in your own patterns and behaviors if you pay attention. Like, I think it becomes a problem when it's excessive. Like, it's excessive exercise, you know, excessive like calorie counting. Yeah, that's, if you want to lose weight, great, and exercise, great. But when it's excessive to the point where like you're not eating
nitpicking
enough,
every single detail, like,
and let's say you've made all this
Yeah.
progress and you still are really harsh with yourself, and you're like, no, like I'm still very overweight, that like, you know,
Yeah.
that can become dangerous is all
That
I'm
can
trying
be
to
telling.
say.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to like, of course, like calorie count and like eat healthy for sure. Like, if you want, like, always like, I will always preach like, take care of your body, you know.
Oh, yeah. Our body is a temple and it needs to be taken care of.
100%.
Like, I am not for like the extreme opposite end of like, no, like we can be a free for all, like just accept yourself as is. Like, yes, accept yourself, but like also take care of yourself.
Yeah, of course.
Like, make sure you're taking care, or your image of your body is that this vessel is such a worthy thing, because that projects onto your life too. You know, like how I speak to you, how I operate, how I move in the world. Like, if I have that opinion of my body that it is a vessel and it is sacred and it is something worth so much, nothing can touch me. Okay?
No.
Nothing can touch me.
Yeah.
Because I am taking care of it. I am putting in that word and I'm speaking love over it. So I believe that. Now, I also think, like you said, like friends and family will let you know. But I also think it's hard in an Arabic household, because it's like sometimes at some point you're just like, are you just saying that just because you want to say that? Or is it because that? And I also think, like you said, I think they know. And I think you should also try to sit with yourself and your thoughts and just like record your thoughts, record what's going on in your brain, and just like do that self-work in that sense, because I think they know.
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. I think it can be hard with like, you know, out of like family and friends, but there is a level of like, you know, you do know, and I think your friends can and will point it out to like, hey, like, and you're kind of like, it's too much. Like, are you eating enough? Like, are you like taking care of you know what I mean? Like, I think there is like a level of that, but also like, I don't know, just like take care of yourself. Don't overdo it on your body, because doing too much and over like excessive exercise and like not enough food is only doing your body more harm than good. And so just like take care of yourself, and like you're beautiful and who you are. We all have insecurities, all of us. Like whatever you think is the most beautiful body you've ever seen in your life, I bet you that person also has insecurities. So, and there's kind of like a beautiful, it's not like, obviously you don't want everyone to have insecurities, but it's a nice feeling knowing that you're not alone and you're not the only person. And I promise, you know, I think one day, like, I don't know, I think the older we get, the more we start to appreciate our body for other things.
For sure.
Like I start to appreciate it more for the way it's like, you know, allowing me to get up every morning, the way it's allowing me to, you know, take a walk, the way it's allowing me to do these things, because you really do realize how precious it is and how like it can be taken away so quickly from you. So that's where the focus starts to shift. I think the older you get.
Yeah. I love that. That was so beautiful.
Thanks.
I also, like, when you were talking, I was like thinking of like, you know how sometimes after pregnancy, you know, women can blow up or their bodies are going to change regardless. Like, a whole human's coming out of you.
Yeah.
But like reframing it in the sense of like, okay, I added this extra weight because my body brought a whole human into this life. Like my body was capable of doing that.
Women are so cool.
Women are so cool.
So
Like
cool.
my body was able to do that. Like you said, my body is able to walk every day. My body is able to, you know, move and wake up and do this and hold and carry a child. And it's beautiful how much your body is able to do and how much like it's worth something. And I keep stressing that because it is worth something.
100%. I agree.
Yeah. Feed it that.
Feed it that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. That's great.
This is
Feed it that.
beautiful.
It's a great. I just realized the irony.
Feed. Yeah, feed it that. Oh, I thought this is why you said it, because you really
I didn't. I just said it. But then I was like,
It
oh,
works.
wait.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, okay.
And that's how we're going to end the episode
Exactly.
today. Feed it that.
Feed it that.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We appreciate you, and we promise we're back and better than ever. And as always, we always would love to take any comments, any suggestions, topics of interest, anything that you want to hear about. Please send in. We're going to be continuing Therapy Thursdays, and we have a lot more fun stuff. So stay tuned for that.
Get up on your feet, this is a shakedown.
Bye.